Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Stevie a Toy. I know I haven't really been posting as often, but as you can see, or actually maybe you wouldn't notice, but my room is currently under renovation. So hopefully once all of that settles down, I can go back to recording with a background that I'm comfortable with. That's another topic for another video. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about something that I feel like correlates or is in conjunction with my last video, which spoke about depression. I don't even know if I used that word properly, but yeah, for today's video, I wanted to talk about things that I feel like you should not say to someone who is dealing with depression, mental health issues, or some sort of traumatic life experience. Sadly to me, I feel like this is common sense, but you'd be surprised with the amount of BS I've dealt with from people who just don't get it. So as I said in my last video, I suffer from depression and other mental health issues, but I guess depression is the main focus of this video. When I got back into partying and clubbing, specifically back in February, I think that's when I realized how much change I wanted in my life, if that makes sense. I feel like I was just discovering myself, which I'm 27 years old, I'm discovering myself, what the heck. But everybody goes at their own pace. During this pandemic specifically, I've had a lot of time to kind of reflect and discover things about myself that I feel like I didn't know before. So specifically this past month has been really rough for me, and the past 2 weeks I had the opportunity to kind of open up and bond with a lot of my friends. So thanks to all of you guys for being there for me. So I recently told my friends about this one person that I was friends with before, and it's surprising to me that thinking back on all the things that they've said to me, I'm amazed that I let myself tolerate and deal with their BS. This is a person that I feel like I spoke to a lot, especially because they too said that they suffered with mental health issues and depression. And it's always a breath of fresh air to I feel like that's sad to say, but it's always a breath of fresh air to kind of talk to someone who just gets it. And with this guy, I guess back then I thought he got it, but thinking back, or based on what my friends tell me, this guy was just very toxic and very bad for my mental health. And I'll admit, some of the things that he did say did really mess with my head at the time. So in February, when I got back into partying and clubbing, it made me realize how much I wanted my life to be different and not where I was at that point. And it was a very low point in my life where I took a lot of people's opinions and criticism to heart. Before I continue, I just wanted to show you guys this awesome, I'm not sponsored or anything, but this awesome Adidas shirt that I got, Love Unites. It's part of the Pride collection. And I also have the matching Pride shorts. Okay, anyway, I spoke to this guy very often, and he was a good friend. And when I was at one of the lowest points of my life, I don't want to get too into it because it's a bit personal, but this guy basically told me that should I ever consider committing suicide, that nobody would care. Yeah, so if I were to ever try to kill myself, nobody would care, nobody would feel pity or sympathy, and if anything, he would show up to my tombstone and spit and laugh on my grave because of how pathetic I was for trying to take a shortcut. And back then I thought that was an okay thing for him to say, but to me at the time, it really messed with my head. When someone confides in you that they're feeling some type of way, it's just not the way you go about it. It was very toxic, very insensitive. That's one of those quotes that could pretty much push someone over the edge. So yeah, moving on from that, I'd say a month later, maybe less than a month later, I spoke to this guy again. We just spoke about the topic of suicide again. Sadly, within my circle of friends, I feel like that's kind of a normal topic. So sorry if it is a bit triggering. So with me and this guy, we spoke about it again, and he did say oh, if someone were to or if I were to try to kill myself and survived and then attempted it again, the second time, literally nobody would care. He's oh, the first time adds the shock factor, but the second time nobody would feel sympathy or pity. They would just view it as attention whory. Like I said, I don't know why I thought these opinions were okay. I spoke to my friends about it recently. I never really spoke to my friends about this in general, but when I told them his stance on this, everyone was pretty much infuriated that he would say that to someone who is dealing with depression. And oh my goodness, thinking back, how the hell did I allow myself to deal with this person's BS? I don't even know. But my advice is if anyone ever reaches out to you or confides in you, you know, that they're dealing with some shit in their life, always try your best to be supportive and just make sure you don't say anything that could potentially, like, you know, push them over the edge. I think it's important, like, when you talk to them, that you are very careful with your words, that you talk to them in a very sensitive manner rather than like aggression and toxicity. You know, I always thought that this person was a good friend of mine, and you know, they were there for me at points when I was down, but looking back, like, some of the things that they said were a lot more detrimental for my health than, you know, I thought at the time. I mean, thankfully I'm in a better place now, and thankfully this person is not really in my life as of literally like 2 days ago. But I digress. So I wanted to talk about something else, which I'm not going to get too into as well, but basically I reached out to someone about a traumatizing experience. When someone goes through a very traumatic experience, I think it's important to not like cast stones or shift blame on someone, especially the victim. Unfortunately, I've had the experience of a very bad Lifetime TV show. I don't even know what I'm talking about. All my friends say this, my life is like a TV show or like a shit show sometimes. So unfortunately, I had the experience of dealing with some asshole. Not gonna get too into it, but when I did reach out to one of my friends about it, their response was that I should have done more. I should have been able to avoid the situation. This wouldn't have happened if I didn't do this or that. And to me, this is not healthy. This is not a way that you would speak to a friend and let them know that, you know, you have their back. This person's just a terrible guy. And it's crazy to me how, you know, we have a lot of friends who are pretty much just like wolves in sheep clothing. I don't even know if that's the right quote. I'm pretty sure it is. And to me, I used to think this guy was a very close friend of mine. So whenever he did give me advice, I took it to heart. You know, whenever things didn't go right in my life, I would like blame myself for it. No, a lot of the shit that I dealt with in my life was not my fault. If you are a victim in a traumatizing experience, to remember that it is not your fault. No matter what, you have to stay strong and just avoid any toxic people in your life who tell you otherwise. Thankfully, because of this traumatic experience, I had the opportunity to become friends with like amazing individuals. It made me realize like my self-worth. I don't want to be belittled by someone who honestly is a huge dick and just doesn't get people's emotions. I don't want to be, you know, that boy who just says yes and agrees to everything someone says just because they too have went through it. Every experience is different. There will not be one piece of advice or one size fits all for every situation. The thing is, this person, like, they viewed my experiences, my depression, in a light that I feel like was very joke-ish. I don't even know if that makes sense. Like, they belittled my depression, they took away pieces, you know, like, if you were to tell someone a long-ass story, like, oh yeah, like, this and this happened, but the main point of the story is that someone beat you. That didn't happen for me. This is just an example. And this person responds afterwards, like, oh, how did you let that happen? Or how did this person do this and that? It's like, dude, sadly I had the experience of confiding in someone about a traumatic experience that happened recently, and what they took away from the story is not what I thought they would. And it made me realize that this person is so fucking stupid. Sorry if like I'm not supposed to say that word on YouTube. This guy's so fucking stupid that like after, you know, reaching out to them and talking to them, they just weren't getting it. I felt like a boss for finally saying like, dude, honestly, like, I'm done talking about this with you. Good night. I think it's important for you to be able to like stand up for yourself, which is something that I feel like I've struggled with a lot in my life. Sadly, this person doesn't have social media, so he ain't gonna see this video, but even if he does, like, it's just amazing to me that this person is the type of person who can preach to me that you need to get better. From my point of view now, you need to get better. You need to learn how to talk to people. You need to learn how to not be toxic, and you need to learn how to not victim shame or victim blame. I don't know if that's the same thing, but you get what I mean. So yeah, this is literally just like a venting or ranting video. Hopefully that doesn't turn off too many of you guys, and sorry if this topic is a bit triggering. I just wanted to say thank you guys for tuning in for this video. I just needed to get this off my chest because I feel like this is something that all of us need to get better with, and that is communicating with people, especially people who are dealing with a lot of shit in their lives. It's important to have sympathy or like empathy for people, and, you know, try to put yourself in their shoes, especially when someone is going through a lot. So yeah, sorry if I went off on a little tangent. I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in for this video and look forward to the next video. Hopefully it will be a room tour and all my furniture will be here by then. But yeah, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I guess that's it for today's video. Stevia Toy out. Bye.